Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers faces a gut check moment this weekend in more ways than one, literally and figuratively. We'll talk about it next. Hey everybody, Brian Davis from A to Z Sports here, covering the Texas Longhorns, where this week Texas, the number one team in the country, opens SEC play against Mississippi State, a 1-3 team that is also 0-1 in the SEC. And the team that, quite honestly, is down on their luck. Blake Shapen was knocked out of the Florida game last weekend. Mississippi State, Coach Jeff Lebby came out and announced that he is out for the year. Not a great situation if you are a cowbell-ringing Bulldog. But let's talk about Texas's quarterback situation, because let's be honest, the Longhorns have a little bit of an issue there as well. Quinn Ewers, the starting quarterback, was listed as questionable again this week during the Monday press conference, according to Steve Sarkisian. Quinn did practice. He did practice on Monday, which was a really good. You wanted to see that. Remember, Quinn did not play last Saturday against Louisiana Monroe. Arch Manning played, and it's all about the strained abdominal oblique, an issue that, Texas baseball coach Jim Schlossnagle talked about, how it's one of those core muscles that every time you move, it's just going to be super annoying. It takes time and it takes rest to get over that. Is Quinn ready to go this week? I would argue maybe sit him down a little longer. Look, should Quinn play is a different question than will Quinn play. I really do believe that. Will Quinn play? I don't know. Again, listed as questionable. Sark will unveil the official designation on Thursday with the first Texas SEC injury report. We'll talk about that here in a little bit too. But, should Quinn play? I don't know. I just don't see it. Texas started as a 35-point favorite over Mississippi State. I've already seen some places are saying 38. That's a big spread for their first game in the SEC. And that's a big spread for a team that Texas should handle pretty easily, no matter whether Arch played or not. I'm already in the camp of this game. I don't want to say it doesn't matter in the big scheme of things, because it is a conference game. It's a league game. That's really important. But Arch Manning should be able to beat Mississippi State on his own with the core of receivers and the running backs and the offensive line that Texas has around him. I think we've seen enough the last 2 weeks to know that the backup quarterback in this situation should be able to handle a Mississippi State team that, quite honestly, is probably going to be overmatched in a lot of places when you match up the two rosters on both sides of the ball. This season is not going to be determined on whether or not Quinn Ewers plays against the Mississippi State Bulldogs in late September. It's not. This season is going to be determined about what happens against Oklahoma, what happens against Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, even Vanderbilt. Watch out for the Commodores, Listen, but also, too, Arkansas, A&M. There's a whole host of other potential traps out there for number one Texas, and I just don't think Mississippi State should be one of those. I would sit Quinn down this week. The schedule works in the Longhorns' favor. They've got an off week next week to do that. Now you've given him the Monroe game, the SEC opener against Mississippi State, an off week. You've given him 3 weeks to rest up and get ready for the October and November run, right? So when I said at the beginning that this is going to be a gut check moment, okay, that's what I mean physically, but what do I mean mentally, and what do I mean figuratively? Well, that's why it's a gut check moment figuratively, because Steve Sarkisian has got to have the trust in his quarterback that his quarterback's going to tell him the truth, right? This is one of those moments where Quinn Ewers, he simply, just to put it bluntly, he can't lie. This is not a situation where he needs to lie to his head coach. They need to trust each other. Quinn needs to tell the truth about how he's feeling, and the coach needs to believe him, right? Remember, this is the third injury that Quinn has had in his time at Texas. Broke a clavicle when he got driven into the turf against Alabama in 2022, and also the shoulder injury against Houston that knocked him out temporarily last season. So it's the third time that Quinn has gone through this. Injuries are part of it. Look, it's a tough game. Your quarterback, you're taking a lot of hits, right? I'm sure NFL people will probably have questions about some of these injuries, but that's for another video for another time, right? Right now, this is about Texas and Mississippi State. Again, I'm in the camp that I think Sark plays Arch Manning this week. Quinn, sit for another week, get healthy, As I've said before in these videos, as I've written for A to Z Sports, there is no quarterback controversy. Don't write me and tell me that you think there is, because there's not. Sark got ahead of it last week when he said that Texas has a championship caliber team and Quinn is the quarterback of that. No question about that, right? Quinn is the quarterback, Arch is the backup. I think you play the backup this week. You go knock him dead against the Bulldogs, and you start in your brand new conference 1-0. You could read about all of this and everything else that's happening around the Texas Longhorn program this week. A2Zsports.com/Longhorns. We've got all your coverage there. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. Come find us on YouTube. Lots of great videos, lots of great coverage there. But that's it for now. We'll talk more later on. I'm Brian Davis. We'll catch you next time.